Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show engineered to cut through the noise, distill the most important knowledge from your sources, and hopefully leave you truly well informed. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a track that, well, for many, is the very definition of a good vibe, Jamiroquai's iconic Space Cowboy.
Uh-huh.
Our mission today is basically to crack open the source material we've got that's the actual song lyrics, some crucial artist annotations straight from JK himself, and even some production details. We want to unearth the hidden layers of meaning within this, seemingly straightforward song. Prepare to have your perceptions and maybe even your understanding of art itself completely reframed.
Yeah, it's an excellent choice for a deep dive, Space Cowboy. Just immediately brings to mind that quintessential, almost effortless acid jazz and funk sound, doesn't it? From the mid-90s. It's got that undeniable, infectious groove. Just makes you want to move. And as our sources confirm, it wasn't just a single track, but the title track from Jamiroquai's second album, The Return of the Space Cowboy, came out September 26, 1994. Al Stone and Mike Nielsen were on production, giving it that really vibrant sound. On the surface, it just feels like pure, unadulterated celebration.
You absolutely nailed that feeling. And when you first encounter Space Cowboy, particularly those opening lines, it's remarkably easy to settle on a pretty obvious interpretation. Let's start with the first verse and that chorus, the one everyone remembers. JK sings, "Everything is good and brown. My friends are close at hand, and all my inhibitions have disappeared without a trace." And then, boom, the chorus hits you. This is the return of the Space Cowboy interplanetary good vibe zone. Say, "At the speed of Chiba, you and I go deeper. Maybe I'm going to have to get high just to get by."
Hmm.
So, with that explicit mention of Chiba and just the whole carefree tone, what's the immediate, almost unavoidable conclusion that, listeners draw?
Well, yeah, the surface level interpretation really couldn't be much clearer, could it? Chiba is, like, zero down, a direct and unmistakable reference to marijuana. The lyrics are pretty overt about it, creating this vivid picture for you. And this theme gets reinforced later in the song, too, especially in the second verse. He sings, "Everything is good, oh, and green. Say, I'm red again, and I don't suppose I'm coming down." That imagery of green combined with being red again, often linked to bloodshot eyes and that feeling of not coming down, it all strongly suggests an altered state. And the message is kind of hammered home in the outro with that repeated line, "Chiba, Chiba, I got Chiba on my brain." Plus, if that wasn't enough, our source material even points out that the single cover artwork itself kind of hints at this theme. It shows this seemingly blissful, almost cosmic escapism. So yeah, it's very difficult to argue against that initial read. Just a fun, carefree, maybe drug-infused anthem.
Okay, right. Let's unpack this then, because this is where it gets really interesting. This is where our understanding of the song just takes a dramatic turn. For years, most people, honestly myself included, we just accepted Space Cowboy as this joyous, celebratory track. Good times, get a high. Simple. But then you dig into the deeper source material, specifically a critical annotation straight from JK himself, and he emphatically states the song is much deeper than just, quote, a stoner song. So, how does an artist who's crafted such an outwardly upbeat and, well, seemingly unambiguous piece of music claim such a vastly different, more profound personal meaning? It's quite a claim.
It really is. And what's fascinating here is the deliberate artistic sleight of hand, maybe. That seems to be at play. J.K. himself reveals this in the liner notes for the anniversary vinyl releases. He says Space Cowboy actually serves as his comeback from the brink. Apparently, this track was written while he was intensely battling addiction at the time. That's a direct quote. He even gives us a window into his lyrical approach, explaining, "When I write, I tend to jump about from first person to third person and be a bit smoke and mirrors. Is it about me or is it about someone else?" Then he clarifies. What it was about was someone who was very lost, trying to hang on and come back before he drifted off into a black hole never to be seen again. Writing that was my bid to restart the program.
Ah, wow. I mean, once you know that statement, it absolutely reframes everything about the song, doesn't it? It creates this profound, almost jarring conflict with that initial carefree understanding that the music so powerfully projects.
That really is the crux of the interpretive debate, isn't it? Because the sound of this track, that infectious, upbeat, acid jazz groove, it's so undeniably joyful. The production, you mentioned Al Stone and Mike Nielsen, they layer these bright, funky elements. It makes it almost impossible not to feel good listening to it. So how could a song that sonically feels so celebratory, so full of carefree indulgence, truly be about battling a personal black hole and a desperate bid to restart the program, it almost feels contradictory, like it was designed to mislead you. So, as a listener, is my initial interpretation the one most people have, just plain wrong? Or,
Hmm.
does the song kind of take on a life of its own where the listener's meaning is just as valid as the artist's intent?
That's an excellent point to raise, and it really cuts to the heart of how we interpret art generally. I mean, sure, there's the whole death of the author idea, suggesting a work can stand apart from its creator's intent. But in this specific instance, J.K.'s very explicit statement kind of forces us to reconsider, doesn't it? The genius perhaps lies in the duality. He's not necessarily saying your initial joyous experience is invalid, but he's revealing there's this profound hidden layer that enriches it, or complicates it at least. And when you filter the lyrics through his personal struggle, yeah, they take on a completely new, often darker, or certainly more complex meaning. Like take that line you quoted earlier. Maybe I'm going to have to get high just to get by. On the surface, yeah, recreational drug use seems clear. But with JK's context, this could be interpreted not just as seeking pleasure, but maybe as a desperate coping mechanism, a way to literally get by when you're, teetering on the edge of that black hole he mentioned. Or perhaps it's a search for a symbolic high-like, a moment of clarity, a spiritual or emotional escape from the grim reality that addiction creates. It's about seeking something to pull you back, not just to numb things out.
Okay, yeah, I'm really seeing this now. It's like the song is performing this double act. What about everything is good and brown? My first thought was always, well, linked to certain strains of cannabis, the brown ones. But if we're looking for deeper meanings now, could brown also signify something else entirely? Maybe like a grounding, an earthiness, a return to a more stable reality after the chaotic, maybe green high of addiction.
Absolutely. That's where the smoke and mirrors he mentioned really shine, I think. Brown can definitely symbolize stability, being grounded, a return to basics, solid earth. And his struggle to hang on and come back from the brink would certainly benefit from returning to something solid and real. It's actually a brilliant subversion of the common interpretation when you think about it like that. And similarly, that line, somebody who I can rely on, maybe that shifts from just meaning friends at a party, having a good time, to meaning a critical support system, something vital for recovery, a lifeline in a pretty desperate situation. So the joyful sound could be masking a kind of plea for help.
Right, and that image in the second verse, a man with psychedelic picture frames of happiness to shade his eyes. My initial read was always pure blissful inebriation, seeing the world through these trippy rose-tinted glasses, basically. But with this new context, it now seems to suggest a forced happiness, doesn't it? Like a deliberate way to construct a facade or maybe block out a grim reality rather than just genuine joy. It's almost a tragic image now, isn't it? Someone trying hard to project an image of wellness even while they're battling internally.
Yeah, it's an impeccable example of J.K.'s lyrical craftsmanship and how the whole sonic landscape of the track works with the words to create this illusion. That energetic bass line, the crisp drums, the funky horns, they all build this irresistible positive sonic bubble around you. But behind those psychedelic picture frames, well, there could very well be a man trying desperately to shade himself from the harsh light of his struggle, to project an image of well-being. It really highlights how artists can embed these deeply personal battles within universally appealing music. It forces you, the listener, to question what's literal versus what's metaphorical, what's a celebration, and what might be a subtle, almost veiled cry for help. This is how the song achieves its multi-layered brilliance, I suppose. It allows for both interpretations at the same time, depending on how deep you choose to go.
So, okay, stepping back. What does this all mean for you, the listener, beyond just this one Jamiroquai song? For someone trying to be genuinely well-informed, how does understanding an artist's true intent, or maybe their personal struggle, how does that profoundly change how you perceive and appreciate a piece of art, or music, or maybe even information in general?
That raises a profoundly important question, I think. And it extends far beyond just music. It really underscores the critical importance of looking past the immediate surface, doesn't it? Questioning our initial assumptions, actively seeking out deeper context in any information we consume, whether that's a song, a news article, a social media post, a historical narrative, anything. If we only take things at face value, if we only listen to the most obvious melody or read the most apparent headline, we risk missing a richer, more nuanced, and often, frankly, more truthful understanding of the world around us. It teaches us to ask, okay, what else might be going on here? What's the hidden subtext? Is there another layer to this story? That curiosity, that digging deeper, that's really what makes one well-informed.
What an incredible journey we've taken with Space Cowboy then, really. We started with it as, a straightforward celebratory dance anthem, all carefree vibes and pretty explicit references. And then, just by delving into JK's own words from the source material, we've uncovered this poignant, deeply personal story. Survival, addiction, rebirth, hidden right there in the lyrics all along. It's a powerful testament, really, to how artists can transform profound personal struggles into these universally appealing, totally danceable tracks without sacrificing the truth and vulnerability of their own experience.
Absolutely. And this leaves us with a truly thought-provoking idea for you to consider. How often do we encounter art, or even everyday narratives, pieces of information that present a cheerful or maybe deceptively simple facade, while concealing much deeper, more complex, perhaps even challenging truths? What other pieces of culture, what other stories that you think you know inside out might hold similar hidden depths, just waiting for you to delve beneath the surface, to go deeper, to uncover them, something to think about.